When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin, and today we are going to be informing you about what's coming out. So, as you notice, I do not have my co-host with me. I'm in front of my wall of film, and that's because we are going to be doing something special this week. So, though this is going to be the first video of the week as normal, this is the best way for me to go ahead and just tell you what to expect. So, let's start it off with some deaths. That seems to be the big thing, and I will just roll that. There wasn't a lot this week. I'm only going to cover last Sunday through Saturday, and then pick up with that next, because I'm filming this usually on Sunday or Monday, and usually by that time the information hasn't quite gotten through yet. So Saturday is the best, more accurate, and even then I usually miss one or two. I mean, shoot, the one we had with Ditko, I mean, he wasn't that wasn't brought out until like way later. So here are those people who have left us this week. Take a look.
She was living on captives that belonged to her friends. She would sleep with her feet in her shins hanging over the ends, looking over her shoulder, never knowing herself. I believe she could never fit in till somebody new came along.
Well, we've gotten that taken care of, so let's talk a little bit about news. There's not a ton. We had the issue where Superman himself, Henry Cavill, had made some remarks about feeling awkward asking women out or pursuing them because of the Me Too movement, and he got nailed to the wall for his comments. The basic concept was, well, if you don't want women accusing you of being a harasser, don't harass them. Now, I will leave you, as the audience, to follow that up. As was reported earlier, we are going to be having a special segment this week, and that is going to be 15 anime series that need a complete release or just a release in general. There are many series out there. We both love anime, and there are a lot of series that have never made it across the ocean, have only become available on streaming, or they just started releasing it and then the company said, meh. So you have a lot to look forward to there. Of course, we have another bit of news. I always like to talk about our friends Inside Movies Galore, because they are going to be covering a film tonight, because Tuesday night is when we air this, and that film is Hugo. Hugo, of course, if you followed last week's episode, it was about L'Inferno, which is one of the first ever silent full-length feature films. So when you're using that, it's great to follow it up with another film that showcases short film history, silent film history, and really gives you a picture as to what they went through, what inspired them. These are pioneers, and to me, it's all the worth it. So check out Inside Movies Galore tonight. It will be airing live at around 9 o'clock their time in Milwaukee, or 10 o'clock my time on the East Coast. You can do the math for the West Coast. That would probably be 8 o'clock. Well, for those of you who didn't decide to do the math. Well, I think you're done with our news, and now let's get on to movie release news. So here are the movies that you can expect this week. There's not much that I really care about. I mean, some people really want to see the Mamma Mia sequel. I didn't care for the first one, so I really don't care for the other. Same thing for the Equalizer sequel, but there are many people who are interested in that, so I'm not going to, cause problems with that. The one I'm interested in this time is the Unfriended sequel. For those of you who do not know, Unfriended is a ghost story involving a haunted chat room. And though at first you might not think that's very scary, trust me, it does get quite scary towards the end. So I'm very curious how they're going to follow it up, and it was an interesting and unique view. So, though I probably won't catch it in theaters, I most definitely will be catching it on its video release. Speaking of video releases, here's what you can expect. Well, I'm hoping that you enjoyed that. One of the most notable ones is one that I got early, which is the Gravity Falls complete series. Now I'm going to show you this because it is kind of cool to have that there. Mine came with a poster. I'm going to pull that out. You can see here what I got. You can see right there. Those of you who like posters. This is all on 3, which matches the books from the series, as you can see. Each one of these has about 2 to 3 Blu-ray discs, and one of them has a little secret envelope. along with advertising for a comic that gives you more Gravity Falls adventures. But this has a sort of like goodbye list, which I find interesting. Gravity Falls is one of those that I really didn't want to like. A friend of mine really loved the series and said, "You've got to watch it. It's really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But, so I gave it a try, and then I hated it. But then I said, well, more and more people said this is a great series, wonderful series, so it was on Hulu, and I had a Hulu subscription, so hey, might as well use your money. And then I took a look at this. And I really liked it. The important thing was to start from the beginning, not the episode that somebody told me to, because it made the Sister Mabel look uninteresting to me and annoying. And though the character can be such, it's not one that necessarily is such. So there are some special features, which it has audio commentaries, a retrospective, and a couple other behind-the-scenes specials. It's great to see this series come out. I didn't think it was going to come out on physical media. It does have a fairly expensive price tag. It's close to $70, but to me, it's worth it. You have this. It's 40 episodes, so you're getting at least some of your money's worth. So, as far as the rest, we have the Reanimator sequel, which is kind of cool. I actually don't mind Reanimator. It is a classic. There are many people who love Reanimator, and that is not me. Also the sequel to one of the series that Kotobuki Jake brought to last week's pickups, Sayuki Reload Blast. I'm not quite sure if that's a sequel to Sayuki Reload or it's its own series. I'll have to look it up later. Supergirl is getting a re-release, and many people are not really happy with Supergirl. They don't really like the movie. To me, it was a decent movie. It wasn't great, but it was better than some of the later Superman films. And then the big one, Ready Player One. Personally, I consider this the big one. But if you like 80s nostalgia and you want something there, I've heard Ready Player One is pretty good. It's on my list of, if it's cheap, I'll get it. If it's not cheap, I can wait. With that being said, we're done with our time together. I'm hoping to see you later this week as we discuss anime and, of course, our pickups. So, we will catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.